Hello, and greetings, friends and family in Facebook land. Welcome to the Bridge Sessions, episode 3. Chris Forbes, what's up, bro?
Hi, Chris.
Our friend Chris Forbes is here, and
hi, Sue.
Sue Neone in the house. Welcome, everybody. And we're starting off episode 3 features Sweet Lee Odom. And hey, what's up, man?
All right.
Alexis in the house. So we're out here by the RFK Triboro. It's a beautiful day. It's Carolina blue, as Lee has informed me. This is the kind of sky you might see down there. And we're going to talk a little bit, and we're going to do some playing. So thanks for stopping by. And Lee, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. Right on. Right on. Thank you.
And I asked Lee if she wouldn't mind starting off with some solo clarinet, as I'm actually quite a big fan of Lee's clarinet work, and I figured it'd be a great way to start off. So Lee's going to set us up. First thing I think about is your clarinet sound. I'm really into sounds, and for me, when I hear somebody with their own sound and their own sound from an instrument, for me, there's nothing better. So Lee has not just her own sound; she has a real clarinet sound and a soprano sound and alto. It's just speaking about your own sound, any thoughts about where it comes from? I mean, I know you come from North Carolina originally. What are some of the aspects of your sound?
Well, this is very interesting, and I've thought about this, and I had a brief conversation actually yesterday with someone about sound, and I never really honestly listened strongly to any one particular musician. And since I've moved here and I've taken on a couple new instruments, I really wanted to not be inundated by someone else's sound too much. And I had the getting a better understanding about, the mechanism of the saxophone, of the clarinet, and having that understanding. But with that, I wanted to just play the instrument. I wanted to really hear, well, what do I sound like when I play? I know what, Jackie McLean sounds like, from recordings. I'm like, okay, I hear that sound. I hear train sound. I hear, bird sound. So many, out there. I've heard all these sounds. And I was like, well, I'm just going to play for a while. Let me just play this one and see what my sound is.
Yeah.
And, so I've been playing clarinet for a while, and then when I moved here, I took up the saxophone, got a little bit more serious about the saxophone, and after playing for a few years, then I started researching, or really getting more, detailed about other people's sound. And then I came across Jackie McLean, and I was like, it was almost as if, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Once I started getting comfortable with my sound, and I said, you know what, I feel like my sound may be, a little bit of what his sound is. And then I saw a documentary, and that was like, wow, then the connection just kept getting deeper and deeper, so I definitely, that's, because people will ask me, well, who do you listen to? For a while I couldn't really say, because I kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
But now I can answer that question, and it's definitely Jackie. Yeah.
Well, Jackie is he's also a huge influence on my alto clarinet playing. And I wish I could have studied with him. I didn't find out that he was teaching up in Connecticut until it was too late. But back in the day, I wish I could have went and studied.
Yeah.
But I was just reading the other day about another musician was saying that when a younger musician transcribes a solo, that's one thing. He said, but now you've got people out here actually trying to copy someone's actual tone, actual sound. And this teacher was saying, you can listen to a sound as a direction post, but actually playing another person's sound is something else.
Yeah.
And this teacher was trying to get people not to do. He said, you want to transcribe a solo, that's cool, but we get like sounds like Jackie. We're going to be listening. There's no way, and there's no way you can't be impacted by a sound that you know. And we all have our favorite sounds that we naturally gravitate towards. I'm on a thing lately where I consider sound to be the most important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I was studying clarinet at Appalachian State in Boone, North Carolina, I'm from North Carolina, I spent a lot of time with sound, tone, where I would spend hours on one note.
Yeah.
One note. I said, well, today's note, like Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Today's letter is B and number's 9. I did the same thing. I said today's note will be B flat. And
very cool.
I would just literally just play B flat for hours.
Yeah.
And since I was, when I went to school for, clarinet performance, since I was doing, I was doing clarinet, I had already by then, by college, I kind of had an idea of the sound I was looking for. So that's what I worked on. I worked on one note each day until I got that sound.
Yeah.
That I knew I wanted.
They say, having your own sound is always been paramount, but there is ways to pursue it, and people that have gone that route. I know Sabir Mateen used to talk about long tones all the time, And I just found out that you and Charles Waters had the same teacher back
Charlie.
in the day. I've known Lee and Charles a while, and just found, I mean, when you first walked into Sam Ash, that was a year or two after you had got to the city.
About a year and a half.
And you came to the city. When did you arrive in NYC?
2011.
So around 2013 or so,
Yep.
I met Lee at Sam Ash, and just finding out now that Lee and Charles Waters from the 12 Houses had the same clarinet teacher back in the day.
Dr. Miller.
You know. So, but speaking of sounds, why don't, without being too cheesy about it, why don't we make some?
Okay.
And we'll make some clarinet sounds.
Some clarinet sound. Okay. Some clarinet sound. Just so y'all know, just in case anyone's not in New York right now, it is beautiful out here. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
it's just gorgeous.
It really is.
And it's not hot. The
Yeah.
humidity is very pleasant.
Yeah. And we got shade, but the right kind of shade.
Right?
You know? Cool. What? Clarinet City. I've never pulled it off yet, but in fact, J.D. Parent already has a clarinet orchestra.
Oh yeah, dance clarinets.
And dance clarinets, I saw them play a couple months ago, and they destroyed. I mean, you got like an army. You got basses, you got a contralto up in there, and of course we always salute JD as the master. And in fact, I think not that long after we met, I think I gave Lee JD's number, and I've studied with JD myself, and now Ross is studying with JD on bass clarinet.
The story about meeting JD is actually kind of cool. You mean something?
Absolutely.
So it was one day working at Sam Ash, and Don Byron comes into the shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to Matt, I'm talking to the other guys, and I'm like, should I ask him? Should I talk to him? Should I ask him for a lesson? And everybody was like very supportive. They're like, yeah, he's cool, do it. So I was like, all right. So I asked Don Byron for a lesson. He was cool, man. He was like, sure. Like, all right. And so I went, had a lesson. At that time, it was really tough, so I didn't eat that week. And then about week and a half later, Don Byron calls me for a gig at Joe's Pub. We're doing music of my last name is Monk. Forgot her first name.
I remember this gig.
Yeah.
I remember the gig.
Yeah. And went to rehearsal, and then there was J.D. Parent. And I didn't know him then. I was like, okay. And all these cats, I had no idea, no clue about what's going on, who these cats are. And heard JD play, talked a little bit, and I said, you know what? I really want to work with this cat. And I saw him at a Vision Fest or something. Yeah, I think one of the Vision Fest, went to him, talked to him for a little bit. He's like, we'll get in touch. About a year later, I went to a clarinet ensemble rehearsal with Michael Manning. Michael Manning was still here. Walked in, guess who was there?
JD.
And so we finally linked up after about a year, first meeting, and we've been working together for about 4 years here. The past 4 years, and it's just truly been just an incredible experience. I mean,
I saw you guys do the music of James Jabbo Ware.
Oh wow, yeah.
And that was a killer.
Yeah, to be able to perform music and the composer is still with you, to advise you, to encourage you.
Yep.
That is an absolute. I don't know, words can't describe that.
So and I've seen Lee go all over New York and beyond in different playing situations. And dance clarinets is like one of a multitude of different things that I've seen you involved in. I mean, Lee was like, playing everywhere, and she was hitting the sessions up in Harlem. And I believe you have lived in Harlem the entire time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Question: you guys are here like during the week or just like on Sundays?
This is a thing we do on Sundays at 12:30.
Cool. So what time are you guys normally out here?
12:30 on Sundays usually.
So is it like an hour thing, or you guys?
Yeah, we're doing like a live show right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Only Sundays, right?
Well, man, you might see me out here anytime, man.
Okay.
There's no telling, but I'm out here 3-4 times a week, but it's pretty random.
Thinking about coming with my girl. She loves instruments.
Cool,
wow.
cool. All right.
We just got video bomb.
Yeah, we just got video bomb, and when you playing out in public, anything can happen, and that's a whole other thing on to itself. But we were talking about Harlem.
Right on.
Which reminds me of another story. Lee's in the orchestra I have called 12 Houses, and I wrote this tune to feature her clarinet once, but I didn't know the title. I couldn't come up with the title. So Lee played it, and then I asked her what the title was, and she said, it sounds like Sleepy Harlem. And that's the tune. That's exactly the vibe of the tune when she plays it. So That's one way to find out the name of a tune is write it for somebody, and then when they play it, they might tell you what's actually.
Yeah.
And that's a clarinet feature, you know. But I know there's I know I couldn't even list all the stuff I've seen Lee involved in. Maconda Project. You were just in Boston last night.
Yeah.
You know.
Music of Ken McIntyre. Maconda Ken McIntyre.
Music of Ken McIntyre. I mean, what are some of the in the last 5 years or so? Some of the things that come to mind. I know you've done a lot of work in churches. I've seen you in stuff with Ross Moshe a multitude of times. Besides, probably more than 50 appearances with the 12 Houses, and any other stuff that comes to mind.
Well, one in particular that was an amazing experience was getting to play with Marshall Allen, and I think his name is Ray Thomas, baritone player. Mm-hmm. That was
Danny Ray Thompson.
Yeah, Danny Thompson. That was an incredible experience. You know, having an opportunity to play with members from the Sun Ra Orchestra and playing Sun Ra's music.
Incredible. Yeah,
that definitely is incredible. And playing with the Maconda Project has been great experience. Just you're not only playing his music, but the other musicians in that group. I mean, the collective history. You know, you have Frank Lacey, Alfred Patterson, Mr. Bill Lowe, Curtis. You have so many living legends in this group, and to have an opportunity just to sit and have conversation with them, ask them questions.
Yep.
You know, I think, younger generations should take advantage of having that opportunity to talk to somebody that experienced this industry back in the day. And yeah, things have changed, but there are still a lot of principles that, we still follow today, and some that we don't, that we probably should. That we definitely probably should. And not recently, but I've always had a love for gospel music. So I also play with a gospel jazz group. We've done quite a few gigs in around the city. We got a nice spot out in Newark that we're gonna be playing at. I'll be there every fourth Sunday, and I'm usually at Canaan Baptist Church, right on 116 and right on 116 near Lenox, between Lenox and 7th. Yeah. So, but growing up in the church, and that's where I did my first solo. That's where I started learning how to play music. Especially by ear. I got to playing a lot in churches.
That was great. Matt, I'm Mark Redlipson. Nice to meet you.
Hey, man.
Good to meet you.
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
I'm Mark. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I saw that, and I was like, I'm getting married in 2 weeks. My Albanian mother-in-law's there, and they're like, oh, let's clean curtains and shit like that. I'm like, wait, you kidding me? So then I'm like, big concert at the park.
Yeah.
Want to help, can't help. Let's go with that again. Want to help, but I'm prohibited from helping because I got to go see this concert in the park.
Well, we got you covered. We got you covered.
My mother doesn't speak English, so I was rolling with that. And then she's just like, well, will that shut you up? Because I don't see you really helping anyway. I go, that's part of the plan.
Right.
Enough of that. So this is cool. I never saw you
This is it, man. We live right now. You sing it on your phone?
I saw it, I didn't see it yet on the phone. I had to decode some bullshit on the way here, but I have seen you play live through the phone. And I like that you have a full arsenal.
Yeah.
So, obviously you play these, and you play both. I thought it was interesting always that I always saw you trumpet as well as clarinet.
Yeah.
So, Facebook's crazy because sometimes you meet people from Facebook, and they're nuts, and you're like, oh God, I wish I could meet that person. But then, when I saw your name, it's almost like a friend on Facebook, whatever. I was like, oh yeah, I know he's on some freaking albums I own. And that's that easily. And I'm like, oh, this guy lives in Astoria. And that's how you pay attention.
Right.
And You got some. I have some CD from you years ago, Spiritual Power or something like that.
Really? You have spiritual power?
Yeah. I'm not phony. Yeah, man.
Right on.
So
That's deep, man.
yeah, you always want to know people actually buy stuff.
Appreciate that.
Hey, pleasure. This
Spiritual power was a good one.
I was buying a lot more of that in that time period when that came out, and then you buy slightly less of that for whatever, you get busy.
Yeah.
But I think I was mostly buying that when I was in some phase with my ex-wife. I was like, the more I listen to free jazz, the better it sounds in her, obviously. So play it loud and proud. So
Speaking of that, we're gonna do some playing. We're gonna do some playing right now.
Let's do some playing.
yeah, man. I'm glad I came in the break. I'm gonna sit over here and do maybe a side broadcast for
Man,
myself.
go for it, man.
All right.
lot of mutual friends that are really incredible people.
Oh yeah, man.
Like Daniel Carter,
Yes.
Yes.
you know, and I might have to try to get DC out here to the bridge.
Oh
He
wow.
might be down. I should hit him
Yeah.
up. I should hit him up.
Yeah.
DC's not on Facebook these days. I really took it something. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. We were talking about sounds before, and obviously, I'm a big fan of Sweet Lee's sounds, and her soprano is really something else. I mean, soprano sax itself, really zeroing in on soprano as a voice is definitely it's not right down the middle. Like trumpet and tenor right down the middle, but is what was it about the soprano that initially attracted you? And riffing off that, one thing I really like about Lee's soprano, she has a real soprano sound. and what is a real soprano sound? Well, from my perspective, I've really studied Johnny Hodges on soprano, to get an idea of what the core sound of the instrument is. And Lee has that in her playing. So no matter where she goes, it could be free, it could be gospel, it could be straight ahead, the sound is there. But what is it about anything about the soprano in particular that is it like a select? Is the clarinet like a bridge to the soprano, or do you see them? How do you see them in relation to them?
I don't put a relation to them.
Okay.
I really don't. I do believe there probably are some that put a relationship with them, but the soprano is a saxophone. It is a saxophone, and you play it like the what you do to, what I do on the alto, as far as like embouchure goes and all that. I do about the same thing on the soprano. How I have my embouchure, tongue position, all that on the clarinet. I do not do any of that on the soprano because it is a saxophone. It took a while to get the sound that I like. Like I said earlier, I did a lot of just after working with JD and getting the understanding the characteristics of a soprano. Soprano is hard to the intonation on a soprano can be challenging.
I've heard this. Yeah.
It can be very challenging, and understanding intonation and quite honestly, until I started working with JD, I had never really put very much thought or anything into intonation, and that is very important. That is very important. I can be in tune. You and I can be in tune right now, and then we'll go 500 feet or 50 feet in another direction, and the intonation will be different. And so just being really, really aware of intonation and how to adjust. And this, the soprano has, been very helpful in developing my ear for them. Definitely been very helpful with that. But I don't connect the horns with each other at all.
Interesting.
For me, each horn, even though they all are, reeds, I guess, they all have their own characteristic. There's different things I need to be aware of for each horn.
I've also, Lee has her clarinet, alto, and soprano. I've also seen her play bass clarinet.
That's a whole different...
Another beast.
Woo.
And I've even seen you play a little trumpet.
Oh, yeah. That was interesting.
But I had a pocket trumpet named Sunspot that I gave Sunspot to Denaro.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I play a bunch of different things, and when people call you a multi-instrumentalist, it kind of puts you like away from being perceived as playing the individual instruments that you have. Like, have people put that? Have people tried to put that on you at this point as multi-instrumentalist, or they haven't? Because the category thing can kind of be frustrating. I mean, I see you as a multi-instrumentalist, but I also see the individual horns that you play.
Well, I don't consider myself a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
I play the clarinet, I play alto saxophone, I play the soprano saxophone, and I play the flute.
Yeah.
If some things that I've been involved with, they want like a little biography, and I never say I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I never say I'm a woodwind player or a reed player. I never say that because I don't play all the reeds. I don't play all the woodwinds.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it very specific. This is what I do, because and then if I'm gonna say I'm a multi-instrumentalist, then I don't know what they're expecting then, or are you expecting an oboe? Are you expecting me to pull out a bassoon? So I try to keep it very specific as to what I do and what what I can do.
Yeah.
So others that are reading will know this is what I do.
Yeah. I got to take a page from that book because I feel the same way. It's like Howard Johnson is a multi-instrumentalist. So Scott Robinson is a multi-instrumentalist. But I'm more interested in very specific things like you. And sometimes people do things that people want to categorize, but they just don't know what else to do. Like, back in the day, there was this one concert that Lee and I are both friends with Giuseppe Logan. In this one concert, he played over 12 different instruments.
Giuseppe?
Yeah.
Wow.
He also, besides the alto, he played fifes, so trumpet and trombone and violin.
Wow. Giuseppe.
And Lee even, there was also, Lee is one of the played drums with Giuseppe Logan once. At Francois Griot's house. This is some inside stuff. And Francois, I don't know if you're out there. Salute you if you are, brother. Hope you're doing well.
But if I can interlude here, I want to tell you, it's because of Matt that I've had the opportunity to meet some incredible people, incredible musicians. I would have never known about Giuseppe Logan or heard his music if it wasn't for Matt. I would have never met Raz Moshe, who I call my brother. To be honest, I would have never known about creative music. Matt was the first person that introduced me to free jazz. I had no clue about it, none whatsoever. And so I want to take this opportunity to thank you, brother.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
You got it.
It definitely has opened up a lot of things in my playing, and to be able to work with Matt and work with so many other musicians. It's been a great adventure here. So I really, really appreciate that, man.
You got it. Well, I mean, the first time I heard Lee play, I knew I heard something special. I heard something that is what I call attached to the real thing. Everybody has their own different versions of what the real thing is, but I think it's something that you can hear when you're hearing something that there's an authentic. In other words, you can hear when someone is connected to themselves and it's coming through in their music. Lee had that. First time I heard her personality and who she was coming out of her. Sometimes people have a hard time bridging that gap. But back in the day, I didn't know about alternative music scenes. I was playing totally straight ahead, and I had a guys. He's like a comet. He's just gone. He's just all over the world, playing everywhere. And with Ryan, I was playing totally straight ahead, and I got a room at Ryan Sawyer, and Ryan left a note on the table one day when I woke up. He wasn't there. When I woke up, there was a note on the kitchen table, and it said, "Go see William Parker at Tonic."
Oh wow!
I didn't know who William Parker was. I didn't know who Roy Campbell was, and I was like, Ryan was my boy. I was like, I'm gonna follow through on this. I went to Tonic, and boom, it was William Parker's Little Huey Music Orchestra playing at Tonic. I didn't know any of these guys, and I found out there's a whole other scene in New York of people who are deep diving into deeper realities of the music and life itself. And it was through Ryan that I met Daniel Carter and Sabir. I saw Test.
Yeah.
I saw Test live at a record store on St. Mark's. I think it was called St. Mark's Record Store. And anybody out there remember St. Mark's? I saw Test live at St. Mark's, and I saw Daniel Carter. I was like, who's this guy playing trumpet and tenor? You know, and they were extraordinarily open and nice people. And Sabir and I became very, very tight. And Sabir, if you're out there, what's up, man? Rebus is in Italy these days, and he's playing a lot of soprano too.
Yeah,
and Daniel. Now the soprano thing, I got to get you, Daniel, and Sabir, and Ross.
Soprano Colossus. Let's bring it back.
For a soprano Colossus.
Yeah, man.
You know? But not too many soprano cats out there. But, I heard you mention that an E-flat clarinet is on the horizon.
It is. That's going to be my next thing I'd like to add to my family here.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. The E-flat clarinet is like a real specialty.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I think Lee's personality is going to come through really strongly on that.
Yeah.
You want to do some soprano?
Do soprano?
Some soprano action?
Let's do some soprano.
Yeah.
Let me check my reed. Let me see how my reed is looking.
So if you're just joining us, Mark, how do I say your last name?
Redlifson.
Mr. Mark Redlifson is in the house. You stop by here in the Astoria Park to check us out. Thanks for coming, Mark.
My pleasure.
And we're out here under the bridge. This is the Bridge Sessions, episode 3, featuring Sweetly Odom. And every couple of weeks, while the weather is conducive, I'll be out here with some incredible musicians and people where we talk to them and do some music playing. We had Ross Moshe last week, Dan Klukas before that. Next week is the great Jack DeSalvo.
Oh wow,
and,
yes.
And after that, Jeremy Carlstead.
No kidding.
And Reggie Sylvester is on deck. Aaron Johnson is on deck. So the Bridge Sessions is exploding right now all over Facebook.
Right on.
But we're not trending though. So if y'all want to share us, maybe I'm just kidding.
Share.
Share away. Yeah. Bridge. So, stuff coming up musically. What's on deck? Anything in the next few days, weeks,
Yes.
or months?
I'm doing something at Madison Square Park on July 15th with vocalist Whitney Marshall. I think Edsel Gomez also, Grammy winner Edsel Gomez. I've been able to play with them a few times, so that's been great. July 21st, I will be back in Boston with the Maconda Project.
Cool.
So
If you guys are in New York, let me know.
right on.
Yeah.
And then I got a few other things going on, some with church stuff, some gospel things going on.
And did you just hit with Upsurge?
Oh yeah, we did
Upsurge.
on July 3rd. I was home in North Carolina visiting, and I got back July 3rd, got off the plane, went straight to the gig, and they were reading excerpts from Frederick Douglass's speech, about Independence Day, and what is Independence Day to a slave.
How would you describe Upsurge? Upsurge is a pretty unique ensemble. Very powerful. Very.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very powerful. A lot of energy. Definitely a lot of energy with the words and with the music. Working with Raymond has been an incredible experience and learning experience. A lot of things that I was unaware of, politically, culturally. A lot of things that I was absolutely unaware of. And in some of the things that I was told, I think how they teach history in the South compared to how history is taught in other places, I'm seeing, where there have been gaps, and just flat out, it's what they say in the South is so different than what I hear what other people have experienced. Especially, I went to a public school, so I'm gonna tell you this. I gotta share this because this got me. I had a history teacher say it was better to be a slave in the South than to be free in the North, because of the conditions in the South. You had a place to stay and you were fed. And at that time, I was a teenager, so, but it didn't strike me right. And at that time, I didn't know how to respond. I was like, I don't know how to respond to that, but that can't be right. And then, as I'm getting older, I'm like, that absolutely is not right. That was not a statement to say. So being an Upsurge, definitely, I've had the opportunity to be made aware of so many other things politically and musically also. Working with Ken Filiano and Lou Grassi, wow, some incredible musicians.
Yeah.
So, it's just been a lot of things coming out at once. Yeah, I think we have something else coming up, but I can't remember. But yeah, Upsurge NYC.
Check out Upsurge for sure. I mean, and dealing with the reality of the world we live in, different levels of immersion. You know, I mean, I have friends out here on Facebook like Rose Tang. You know, Rose is on the front line every day, confronting ignorance.
Yeah, Rose.
You know, hey Rose, if you're out there, you know, and some people choose not to engage. You know, I know we've done a fair amount of that in the 12 houses. We've called for
No more hate.
no more hate, and
Dump Trump.
Yeah, you know, we were calling the dump Trump like a year before he got elected. Like, for the record, 12 houses, like a year before he even got elected, we were like calling for everybody. Remember we did Ted Cruz Must Lose? We only did that one night, but it's you know, it seems like these days there's such this just like this raw nerve everywhere you go, and everybody's on edge, and the realities of America are just
Yeah.
really almost in everybody's face these days. And you know, musically, you know, dealing with this stuff is definitely not new. I mean, Mingus and trained in it, and
And what I'd like to say.
Upsurge does it too.
Yeah, Matt, also, you know, we have to commend you for, you know, this taking the responsibility as an artist, and as an artist that has an audience, and making people aware, you know, of these things also. You know, we have an opportunity as an artist and musician, we get to be in front of people, and, you know, we can accept the responsibility and make people aware of things, and, you know, through our music, through with the bridge session. So you know, thank you for doing that. Really do. Thank you for making that opportunity. Right on.
Well, you know, one of my favorite expressions is that James Baldwin expression. He goes, "I can't believe what you say because I see what you do." I mean, and that sums it up for me right there.
Yeah.
You know, I can't believe what you say because I see what you do.
Yeah.
And musician, you know, you know, if you play music and you're in a kind of a relationship, a public relationship with people, you can make it known that you see what people do, and you also can not believe what they say. You know, and but we're always out here fighting a good fight. You know, and then the one thing people seem to be out of touch with these days is exactly something you can tap into out here. You know, it's a beautiful day. You know, we're actually out here in nature, and behind us is something that somehow a bunch of human beings got together and they built that. You know, building a bridge is no joke, and we're trying to actually metaphorically create bridges between each other every day. So we power of music, and in your travels, you've come at it from lots of different perspectives, and it all comes, and inside of all those places, you're you. It's like the gospel, you know, or we did that single with our Braff.
Oh yeah, Braff.
Greatest rapper I've ever.
Right.
Greatest rapper I've ever met.
Yeah, man.
Braff is, you know, check out our Braff. Braff deals with the reality of today. It really does. And you know, but out here you can, when you're outside, you can kind of connect to those larger parts of yourself. You know, and
Eric Dolphin did that, right?
yeah, from what I understand, he used to play flute. If he was in a situation like this, he'd be playing probably flute. At least there's Sr. playing flute, and Ornette and Sonny used to play duets. It was either at a beach or a river or something like that. The two of them used to get together and do it too.
Nice.
So we're probably gonna. This watch doesn't work. We're probably gonna wrap it up. But we're gonna play a little bit more music for you. And looks like the clarinet is calling you.
Yeah. This is my backup one.
That's a Jupiter.
Yeah.
So thanks again for stopping by. Mike Fortune, what's up, man? Thomas, what's up? Thanks for stopping by the Bridge Sessions, episode 3, with Sweet Lee Odom. Lee, thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you. Thanks
Always
for having me.
pleasure.
Yeah.
We'll be playing together sometime soon. And
Yeah, when is that? Isn't there something upstate?
yeah, 12 Houses is going to be in Beacon at the Jazz and Atlas series in September. But I might make moves on something before.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about 12 Houses doing all spirituals. Like really doubling down on that. With and now one of Lee's other groups is a duo with pianist Chris Forbes. Chris is also in the 12 Houses. I'd like to hear you guys play some spirituals.
Oh my goodness, just Chris by himself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Whew.
That being said, Chris, if you're out there, we love you, man. And if you haven't seen the Chris Forbes piano show, you need to. Chris Forbes is like one of the baddest dudes around. And he's one of those guys that can literally do it all. And
He does a live session too.
yeah, and Chris is out here on Facebook Live.
Morning
all
and
the
evening.
time.
Oh yeah, you'll see it.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. And we're going to send you out with some music.
Thank you all.
Go ahead, you got it. All right.
Right on, brother.
Right on. Right on. Peace out from the bridge.